underground development today is usually vertically drilled, and as the time going on, the deeper the projects being drilled. So, what we are thinking about is that if it is possible to develop transversely, so that it could connect the multiple different space and even to build a completely new city underground, so that people are able to utilize more space. There are many good examples and precedents in this field, such as Hong Kong. For the development of underground space, the government started a pilot scheme which picking 4 strategic areas to do research on district development of different underground space need and possibility. These 4 areas are very congested and always appears the phenomena of road dispute between pedestrians and vehicles. So, the government hoped that they could take advantage of underground space to develop underground pedestrian tunnel, underground streets, or even bring those infrastructure above ground to underground space, such as refuse storage area, in order to improve the traffic flow and the community environment. Constructing the underground space costs more compared to the above-ground construction, and also it would consider more on the difficulties of technology problems, including some petroleum utilization.
To mention that my major is petroleum engineering, so we basically detect and drill pipes in the underground, maybe from 1,000 feet to 10,000 feet between this one. And in the traditional petroleum engineering, we only drill one pipe and directly and vertically. So after we almost used all of the oil underground, so nowadays we are focused on unconventional gas. I think it's such like you see in the underground, and there is a lot of rocks. After we take all of that oil, and there will be natural gas stay in it. So we now drilling horizontal pipes, and then we frac them. After we crash the rocks, and this gas will release their pressure, so they can get out. For some big company, they buy a very large land, and so they can drill several or 5 or 6 drilling pipes, and they make a cross like this. So when they cross this and they fracture that, they can make the underground situation very easy to get the unconventional gas through it.
While proposing, there's much possibilities on the research, and then what exact functions we are able to use for underground space. Let's listen to the voice of architecture students.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm from Shenzhen, which is a really high density city with a large population. So our city has a really great underground metro systems, which really ease the traffic on the ground level. Most people would choose to commute by the metro. But unfortunately, I didn't see that in Los Angeles. And I also, what is interesting is that in like the high density city, especially in Asia, people will also create some shopping mall connected to the metro station on the ground. These projects could also generate a lot of venues for the developer and the government. So I think that's, if you're asking me some suggestion about future urban planning, I think definitely the government should concern about these kind of projects. Of course, you can see like most city which have a really high density, like New York, like Hong Kong, those skyscraper is going like taller and taller, and which is a good thing, but it also kind of change our cityscape. If these kind of situation keep going on, like the downtown area have so many skyscraper touching the sky, you will feel like it's kind of like you're trapped in a city made of concrete. But like the space underground, it's ultimate. You can keep going down, and you have like a small limits for like the fire egress concern, and yeah. So I think the underground space has a large potential.
Basically, all the underground spaces are being occupied by infrastructure tunnels and ducts including cooling systems, electrical power, network, and water supplying system. Compared to the building in the central city, each building has its independent cooling system, which can save over 20% energy if there is a central administration station of cooling system in this area, in order to take over the old independent supplying system. So, improve the efficiency of using underground space will definitely reduce the digging, more noise, air pollution, the carbon emission, the waste of energy. As we understand in architecture construction, landscape architecture no doubt plays an important role. So let's see what their impression on the development of underground space.
Well, to be honest, I mean, the first impression that I have on the utilization of the underground space is that, like, to us, for landscape architects, you don't want to play any plants underground because there is no sunlight and no plants will be grown underground. So, like, for now, most of the underground space in landscape, we're using it for storage or like to make connections between one place to another place. Like you can put a canal or like a fast track express lane underground, but you can never like grow a park or build a park underground. And to me, the first impression of the underground space is not that it's not taking up the priority of the space using.
There's so many possibilities will happen there underground. Could be so many spaces for fantasy, and so many areas, and so many ideas for developing strategies, including department stores, metro station tunnels, pedestrian tunnels. But what is the expectation that could be adopted in the future of LA will lead us to a new thinking approach. This is the metro station in Exposition Park outside of USC.
I think it's quite important for like transportation and architectural space for people to hang around to go through the metro or access some place, and it's quite convenient for like the city construction about the transportation system. As I know that like I've been to Japan, I heard that the underground space in Japan is like more than the space above the ground. So I think all the functions should be added to the underground space, like the transportation, as I said, and the like the port and the supermarket.
Since each city has its own situation, it will need us to think over for such an international city to start a new underground field to build a new world, without any fixed strategies, meaning that thinking of where to connect to, how to improve efficiency, where to locate the function. Since LA has already had a large-scale system underground including electric, water pipes, not only involving the problems of engineering, but also referring to different departments with privacy or even government. So, it would be a relatively complicated thing in LA.